Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy GrandmastaJ, and today we have some news. Now, is this news positive? Is it negative? That's for you guys to decide. But alas, patch 1.42 has been announced, or I guess released at this point. And what does this patch to do? Is this for like a litany of a bunch of characters? Are we finally gonna get nerfs to X, Y, and Z, elemental P, this character, that character, blah blah blah? No. We only got changes to one person, to one character. And who is that exactly? That is, of course, BEATRIX. So if we look down below, essentially what they did is that they did a lot of changing to her block stun and a lot of changing to her super obnoxious slide and stuff like that. I'm sorry, not block stun, but her damage, right? Just damage changes all across the board, right? And now here's the thing. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Twitter didn't really seem to think so, and we're kind of going to dig into that in a second, too. So first things first, let's get the elephant out of the room, okay? She needs to be nerfed. Let's just be honest. She needs to be nerfed. She came out, she was so stupid. If you see in my first video I made about her on my main channel, or wait, this is my main channel. What the fudge am I talking about? If you see my first video on BEATRIX, it was day one, and I was like, this is clearly the best character in the game. I mean, like, she had every single tool that she needed to win. If you just look, I mean, she had super fast run speed, great projectile, a dive kick, a slide, all this stuff, right? So on top of that, on top of all of that, she had very, very high damage. Like, she would two-touch you and that'd be it. So let's be honest. Let's be real with ourselves. She needed a nerf, all right? And I'm just glad that it came sooner rather than later. So why exactly are people complaining? Why exactly is this a problem? Well, here's the thing, right? If I go back to the character select screen, we still have characters like Siegfried in the game. We still have characters like Lancelot in the game, and characters like Nier in the game. And now here's the thing, I can understand the sentiment of like, oh my gosh, bro, you're gonna nerf her but not these guys. Like, what the frick's going on? And that is true, where it feels as though these guys are definitely like top of the top of the top, right? Like, Siegfried just makes you explode, Lancelot is just super obnoxious, and Nier, even though she did get a big litany of nerfs, she's still very strong. So why did they patch BEATRIX and not everyone else? Well, I think it kind of goes down to the fact that maybe BEATRIX did not fit with the ideology of the game, right? And what do I really mean by that? BEATRIX felt like a faster Siegfried. It felt like her win conditions was way easier than all these other characters. Now, was she as strong as these other characters? Maybe not really, but we'll never get to know because they did nerf her, right? So we'll just never get to know. Thing is that the general consensus is that, yeah, BEATRIX is super duper strong, but she doesn't really seem to be the best character in the game, right? Like, we still have, I think that the general consensus right now is that Siegfried takes the throne. Well, Siegfried, Lance, and Nier, they're just the big three, right? They just take the throne. Everybody else cowers in fear from them, right? And then you still have a couple of wild cards like Shees. You still have Zeta, who, like, these characters just do obscene amounts of damage, and honestly for nothing. Yeah, I mean, it just feels as though that the top of the line has been untouched for a while. That being said, when BEATRIX was released, sure, you can have your initial opinions, your initial month 1, month 2, whatever opinions, but until we actually see the same amount of development with her that we saw with all these other characters, we'll never really know for sure whether or not she could have been better than all of them. I mean, she had everything going for her. Fantastic projectile, fantastic damage, fantastic pressure. She had all of that. And like with the other characters, especially with like Nier and She's being nerfed, she could have taken the throne. Let's be real. So do I agree with with Arxis, or I guess Cygames, nerfing her the way that they did, as fast as the way that they did? Maybe. Like, it's really hard to say whether or not I agree with them, because if you're gonna nerf one, maybe nerf all of them. But again, maybe in their eyes, according to the data, these characters aren't that big of a deal. I'm not sure. We also need to consider that it's not just the top players. It's not just the top players that are feeling this. It's also the players way down in the rankings. The A players, the B players, the C players, the S players. Those are the players that makes up the majority of the fan base, right? So maybe according to them, she was the best character in the game because we have, yeah, sure, according to us, with a fully developed Siegfried, he's super duper strong. Like he is fantastic. He is one of the most oppressive, most annoying characters in the game. Same thing with Lancelot. You know, he's just so quick. He gets side swaps. He's super obnoxious. You know, you put him in the corner, psych, buddy, you're in the corner. You know what I'm saying? And then you have Nier, who, let's be honest, she doesn't belong into this game, right? She's more so like a Persona character or a BlazBlue character or a Guilty Gear character, but these characters might be harder to play at a lower level than BEATRIX was. Let's be real. BEATRIX kind of threw herself at you, and that was it. She threw herself at you. She was able to confirm everything. She had so much like big swinging oppression, like special moves, and it was very difficult to deal with, especially if you just did not know what to do against her. I remember I was playing against her, and like she would just run at me and just do a bunch of special moves. She had a DP, she had everything, so it was very, very, very difficult to contest. I get hit and I die. It's super obnoxious. So what does this mean for the future? I mean, again, it's one of those cases where BEATRIX wasn't out long enough for us to know whether or not she would have taken the throne. I get the initial reaction of like, what the frick? But you have X, Y, and Z character that's still super duper broken. Why the frick would you nerf BEATRIX? But at the same time, those characters were developed to become much stronger than they actually were. I remember back in the day, conversations for Lancelot was that, oh yeah, he's like an A+ tier character, but he's definitely not nearly as strong as he used to be in vanilla. And Siegfried's also kind of falls in line with like, oh, he might be bottom of S tier, blah, 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 blah. But as these characters were more fully developed, now they're like the best characters in the game. They're top 3. And also, let's not even forget the wild card Jita used to be considered okay, like decent, like she was pretty solid, but she wasn't like super good. But then as she got more fully developed, as players who played Jita better understood her, she ended up becoming maybe top 5 in the game, something like that, something along those lines. So BEATRIX was only out for about a month, maybe 2 months. Like, if she was out longer, she might have been the best character in the game. I mean, she certainly had the ability to. And even if she wasn't, maybe what she did have was not what the initial idea of the character was supposed to be, because she would just run at you, flail at you, and if she hit you, you died. If she didn't hit you, then she died. But it was so much harder to hit her than it was the other way around. Whereas the other characters feel a bit more in line with the GrandBlue philosophy, except Lancelot. I hate that character. Please go jump in a ditch, Lancelot, and I hope you find a nice bed of pillows down there. But anyways, guys, that is my opinion on the matter. That's going to do it for your boy. And, you know, hey, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think she should have been nerfed? Do you think, you know, maybe not? I don't know. That's it for your boy. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.